Welcome back to West Pregame. I'm joined now with Coach Biddiscombe, who's going to talk about the NCAA championships and their implications.
Thank you. Well, you've heard it, I'm sure, called by a number of different names. It could be the Nationals, the NCAAs, the Division IIIs, or the Big Dance. And of course, what I'm talking about is postseason play in NCAA championship. Well, there's obviously a lot of interest in gaining access to the NCAA championships in Division III, but it doesn't come without its cost. Right now, I think we can focus in on what's happened this past weekend. Wesleyan had an opportunity to play in the NESCAC tournament, but unfortunately, we did not advance into the semifinals and finals this coming weekend, which may have qualified us, particularly if we'd have won, to go on to the NCAAs. But here we are on mid-February, actually February the 16th when we played, and our season is over. For those teams in NESCAC, which did not qualify for the NCAA championships, their season was over 1 week earlier than ours, actually the second weekend in February. How about those athletes who are substitutes on some teams who don't even get a chance to play in the games and season ends so early in February? 30 years ago, the seasons in NESCAC the winter seasons in NESCAC used to go until the last week in February. And there were no NESCAC tournaments, and so those teams who had outstanding seasons were often selected to go to the NCAAs. But almost 3 weeks difference now occurs between the time that when our season might end and when the season ended so many years ago. The implications of this are compressed seasons, earlier starts in January, coming back in December, and an early finish for those athletes, which I say, that don't go on to the NCAAs. Now, of course, coaches and athletes really focus their whole season on making the NESCAC tournament and then obviously hoping to qualify for the NCAAs. Postseason play, whether you're in pee-wees or midget leagues or high school or in private schools, all focus in on gaining access to the end of the season tournaments, and being state champion, division champion, regional champions are all important. However, I think that as we start to evaluate the implications of NCAAs and the part that it plays in our scheduling, we need to pause here and ask ourselves, what's the Division III philosophy? If you look at the Division III philosophy statement, it says that major emphasis will be played on the in-season competition. And obviously now, with the increase in Division III play, the expanded brackets, the choosing of venues which often dictate where the NCAA championships will be played and when they'll be played, are kind of all accelerated this competition to get to the postseason tournament. Now, don't take me wrong. I'm a strong advocate for postseason play, particularly the NCAAs. Inherently, they're not bad. They're good. They give a chance for student athletes to challenge themselves against the best teams and the best individuals in the country. However, when the importance of them forces coaches to take 2 weeks off between the last competition, like we do in wrestling, swimming, and other sports, the individual sports, and the impact that it has, I say, on shortening the season and compressing the schedule, I think reflects not necessarily all positive things in gaining access to the NCAA championship. Now, we just assume as coaches and athletic administrators that all the athletes are in favor of these compressed seasons and more emphasis on shortening the season so that we get access to NCAAs. I say it's time maybe we better stop and pause and ask the athletes what they really think. Would they prefer to have a longer season, have more competition, substitutes get a chance more to play at the end of the season, or not? But I think it's a good question to ask, because certainly the NCAAs have affected our regular season schedule. Thank you.
I think that's definitely true, Coach Biddiscombe. Talking with Ashley about how she got back on December 28th this year to start up the ice hockey season, so I'm glad you brought that up.